A note on Animal House. This comedy has been listed as one of the best by some critics, and that's what I've seen it. And indeed, it has a good cast. Donald Sutherland is an interesting professor in there, and he has that part where uh, the, the lines are uh, witty, and they talk about Paradise Lost, and there is an interesting uh, question. In fact, a few questions that the professor asks his class. Um, what is the most intriguing, interesting character? They don't know. It's the devil. And well, what's the message we can take? And the message we can take from that is that it might be better to be uh, bad than good, to be evil. And so he's putting that into practice because he's smoking weed or marijuana, the professor, with one of his students, who at one point is asking, "Can I buy some pot from you, professor?" Um, that's not very good. That's not a role model and an example. But still, he's a decent, likable character. Donald Sutherland is a wonderful actor, and I tend to like him in most of the films I've seen with him. It's true he has an impressive Christopher Walken, Donald Sutherland. I think they passed the 100 number, 100 films there they've been present into. Some of them inevitably cannot be masterpieces. When one decides to join so many sets, so many films, there are necessary some misfires. There's also Tom Hulce inside, the one who would play uh, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart in the Milos Forman production, Amadeus. Exceptional film, even if, I don't know if I remember correctly, I mean, I'm sure Abraham Murray, the actor playing Salieri, won the Oscar for Best Actor in a Leading Role. What I'm not sure is if uh, the odds were against it. Uh, this is what I think I remember. I may be wrong. That everybody expected Amadeus, Tom Hulce, to win the Oscar, and not Salieri. I mean, Abraham Murray. So it was one of those surprises. He's good in this comedy, which is about a fraternity, the Delta group, which is creating some havoc. There are a lot of parties, wild ones. The wife of a professor is invited. They do all kinds of crazy things. They try and even get a horse involved. There is this thing which we know from real life, and it's serious in many places, and alas, at times tragic. The older boys are initiating the younger ones, and in the process, they make them do all sorts of weird, obscene, sometimes disgusting, and eventually deadly tasks. I was reading in The Economist a few weeks ago about this subject, and indeed, in some places, some died because of choking on whatever they were made to swallow. Another one died in the forest because he was, as part of the initiation, stupid and murderous in this case. He was sent into the woods, left in the woods somewhere, and he couldn't find his way back, and he died of frostbite, of cold or something. Um, Here it's on the humorous level, even if there is some excess once in a while. There is tyrannical dean who's trying to have a deal with a town and have a parade, and he's asked in return to strike a blow and finish these guys off. But they have a trial. They behave with humor and also intelligently. There is an issue of also emotional intelligence, and some of these students are really intelligent from the emotional point of view, and EQ is more important than IQ. It's well researched, well documented now.